Soul Train is an American musical variety television show. After airing locally on WCAU-TV in Chicago, Illinois for a year, it aired in syndication from October 2, 1971, to March 25, 2006. Across its 35-year history, the show primarily featured performances by R&B, soul, and hip-hop artists. The series was created by Don Cornelius, who also served as its first and longest-serving host and executive producer. Production was suspended following the 2005-2006 season, with a rerun package under the moniker The Best of Soul Train airing for 2 years subsequently. As a nod to Soul Train's longevity, the show's opening sequence during later seasons contained a claim that it was the longest-running first-run, nationally syndicated program in American television history, with over 1,100 episodes produced from the show's debut through the 2005-2006 season. Despite the production hiatus, Soul Train held that superlative record until 2016, when Entertainment Tonight surpassed it in completing its 35th season. Among non-news programs, Wheel of Fortune surpassed that mark in 2018. As of 2016, the rights to the Soul Train brand, library, and associated events, such as its cruises and annual awards show, the Soul Train Music Awards, are now under the ownership of Paramount Global, through BET Networks. The origins of Soul Train can be traced to 1965 when WCAU-TV, an upstart UHF station in Chicago, began airing 2 youth-oriented dance programs, Kitty A Go-Go and Red Hot and Blues. These programs, specifically the latter, which featured a predominantly African-American group of in-studio dancers, would set the stage for what was to come to the station several years later. Don Cornelius, a newsreader and backup disc jockey at Chicago radio station WVON, was hired by WCIU in 1967 as a news and sports reporter. Cornelius also was promoting and emceeing a touring series of concerts featuring local talent, sometimes called record hops, at Chicago area high schools, calling his traveling caravan of shows Cornelius's outside work, and in 1970, allowed him the opportunity to bring his road show to television. After securing a sponsorship deal with the Chicago-based retailer Sears, Roebuck and Company, Soul Train premiered on WCAU-TV on August 17, 1970, as a live show airing weekday afternoons. Beginning as a low-budget affair, in black and white, the first episode of the program featured Jerry Butler, the Chi-Lites, and the Emotions as guests. Cornelius was assisted by Clinton Gent, a local professional dancer who appeared on early episodes before moving behind the scenes as a producer and secondary host. Move to syndication. The program's immediate success attracted the attention of another locally based firm, the Johnson Products Company, manufacturers of the Afro Sheen line of hair care products, and they later agreed to co-sponsor the program's expansion into broadcast syndication. Cornelius and Soul Train syndicator targeted 25 markets outside of Chicago to carry the show, but stations in only 7 other cities, Atlanta, Birmingham, Cleveland, Detroit, Houston, Los Angeles, and Philadelphia, purchased the program, which began airing on a weekly basis on October 2, 1971. By the end of the first season, Soul Train was on in the other 18 markets. At the time, there were no other commercial television programs being produced by black people for a black audience. The only nationally available show by blacks for blacks at the time was the public television series Soul. When the program moved into syndication, its home base was also shifted to Los Angeles, where it remained for the duration of its run. Soul Train was part of a national trend toward syndicated music-oriented programs targeted at niche audiences. 2 other network series, Hee Haw for country music, and The Lawrence Welk Show for traditional music, also entered syndication in 1971 and would go on to have long runs. Though Don Cornelius moved his operations west, a local version of Soul Train continued in Chicago. Cornelius hosted both the local Chicago-based and national Los Angeles-based programs simultaneously, but soon focused his attention solely on the national edition. He continued to oversee production in Chicago, where Clinton Gent hosted episodes on WCAU-TV until 1976, followed by 3 years of once-weekly reruns. The syndicated version was picked up in the Chicago market by CBS-owned WBBM-TV at its launch. The program moved to WGN-TV in 1977 and remained there for the rest of its Chicago run. Don Cornelius hosted every episode of Soul Train from 1970 to 1993, except for Richard Pryor, who hosted the final episode of Season 4 in 1975. Beginning in Season 15, 1985, Tribune Entertainment acquired the syndication contract. Tribune Entertainment continued